live stream. I really appreciate you guys. The Woodsman, Lunch with Pradeep. Thanks for joining, brother. This time I'm using regular YouTube app for going live. So unlike the other live streams, this one will be 1080p instead of 720p. And I hope the video and audio qualities are much better. I got this black backdrop, so hopefully the quality improves. I didn't really like using Zoom too much. 10 likes already. Almost time for the best arm wrestling news on YouTube. Thanks, brother. I really appreciate your support. Today, I didn't really have any news, so I thought that maybe I'll just chat with you guys since it's been like 3-4 days. I didn't do any single live stream on my channel. So, still, I'll give you some news. There are some new matches announced, or I would say a couple of matches announced for East versus West, and those are Reno Masic versus Terence Opperman. Terence Opperman recently competed at Arm Wars, and you may remember him from that legendary John Brezink match. That stuff was amazing. Papuna official, what's up, Pradeep? Hello, biggest fan. Sacho, thanks, brother. Reno versus Terence Opperman, and the other match was Lachlan versus Mike Aiello. We already talked about that in a video. And then we have Justin Bishop versus Tom's Rositz. I don't know who, I'm not sure who Tom Rositz is, but these are the matches. So all of the matches, let me announce them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches as of now. Jerry versus Hermes Gasparini, Gennady Kwiatkowski versus Artem Morozov, Farid Osmanli, Wagner Bortolato, Rob Vigent versus Krasimir Kostadinov. Big match, big match. Yanis Omolins versus Mindaugas Teresitis, Pavlo Dervedenia versus Andrei Sedis, Amir Shadian versus Daniel Prokopchuk, Reno Masic versus Terence Opperman, Oleg Petrenko versus Chan Shaw. That's an interesting matchmaking right there. Justin Bishop versus Toms Rositz, Lachlan Adair versus Mike Aiello. I would say Gennady versus Artyom. Yeah, two big, super huge matches. But I wouldn't be shocked and surprised if this pay per view is able to sell least number of pay per views for Angin Terzi. And not saying it as a matter of disrespect to the card or anything, but there are less popular names on this card compared to other ones. Mark Skigera with a membership comment. No, not really a membership comment, but Mark is a member. Good evening, all. Thanks, Mark. You changed your DP, I think. Yeah. So Mark, that community post that I made, I saw you deleted your comment, but only you could have read that comment, so you didn't need to delete that. So because you are the only one member at that top tier in the membership page, that's why I selected that page for that comment so that only you can read it. I agree with you, the wordsman. Okay. Hey Pradeep, how many pull-ups can you do now? So I went interestingly a couple of days ago. I went for a workout and I thought that I will be able to do 100 pull-ups in probably 10 15 sets and no, I wasn't able to do that. So I did overhand and underhand. I did total 50 pull-ups in sets of 8 and 6. Yeah, I think that's what it was, in sets of 8 and 6. Gennady versus Morozov and RVJ versus Krasimir, best match on the card. Mark, I didn't know that. I deleted all of my comments, told you I do that periodically. Yeah, you were the only one there. That's why that community post, and now I deleted that community post as well. That's why it had no likes, no thumbs up, nothing. So, how many pull ups can you do if we're talking strict pull ups? This pull up, I am not really good at it. I'm not good at this one as well, but I can do more at least. So, I will say, I don't know why it changes temperature constantly. That's really weird. So I would say strict pull-ups this way, probably like 6, 7 at most, 6. And this way, strict maybe 10. And if we're talking about non-strict pull-ups this way, then maybe 10, and underhand fast, maybe 20. 20. That's your best. That's the best that I can do right now on a very good day after a very good warm-up. What is your PR at push-ups? Push-ups, I've said multiple times that I'm really bad at pushing exercises. So I would say, I think if I remember correctly, somewhere around 50 push-ups. Do you think Dennis is number one in left? Right now, no, no, clearly not. Clearly not. He's probably somewhere around number 10. Hi, Arm World. Didn't know that. I deleted. Okay, thanks. Read it already. I found a new Georgian Mika. Yeah, on Armor's channel. Wonder how good he is. Ryan Bowen talked about him a lot on his channel about almost a year ago. He's from US. I've downloaded that video from Armors, but I haven't checked that out yet. Mario, big fan here. Thanks for joining, brother. I really, really appreciate it. Underhand chin ups is more bicep and lat. Overhand is more forearm and lats. Yeah. Overhand pull ups, I really cannot do. Mostly because of my shoulder, and I'm generally kind of weak in that position. Pradeep, where's the video on Jordan's accusations about WAF? LOL. So that documentary, they took it down because they are kind of pursuing a case or something around that topic. That's why they deleted it, and that's in Bulgarian, as Jordan told me. Do you think Dennis is number one left? No, clearly not. Vitali 100% left. Okay, you think Vitali is number one? Yeah, there's a great possibility that Vitali or even Kordecha can crack Morozov. I wouldn't be so sure of Morozov's position at the number one level, and we have seen that he can get challenged often at that level. So 42 of you watching, 22 thumbs up, guys. Thanks very much for joining. I really appreciate that. So I'll read out some stats to you. Interesting stats. YouTube started giving these stats recently on Studio. So weekly stats, how many people watched your content, how many likes, how many shares. Shares is something interesting. I've never seen that before. You can literally see how many people shared your videos. So here's what's up, what you got up to last week. 11 videos, 5 live streams. Didn't upload any shorts, no stories. So 11 videos, 5 live streams. 80,000, 80.2K people tuned into you. So 80,000 people, I think these are unique viewers. So overall views maybe almost 150,000, almost 150,000. And you got 175 new subscribers in the last 1 week. YouTube home, YouTube search, shorts feed, okay. Most watched video, Devon Lett, Arm Wars review. Then Brian Shaw announces arm wrestling matches. People didn't just watch, they reached out. Okay, 7,128 likes in last 7 days, 206 shares, 773 comments. And I stopped reading comments almost a year ago. It was becoming almost impossible for me, but today I felt good. For many hours I read comments, almost in last 10 live streams, 10 shorts and 10 YouTube videos. I read all of those comments. 1,000, probably at least 1,000 comments I read today. Felt really good. Felt really good about that. This bluish color is okay, but when it turns kind of yellow, that looks bad. Arm wrestling for nerds. LOL. Okay. What did Phil Woody you say? Arm wrestling news show, as it's the only arm wrestling news show. Hermes or Jerry? I think Hermes Gasparini should win this match. He should win this match. Probably 3-0 or 3-1. How did you come came to a conclusion that Morozov is most endurable, even more than Gennady? Because first of all, I've never seen him get tired. Usually he gets stronger by the end of the match, and he looks really fit, really lean and athletic, and he has endurance. He has clearly shown that. So it was just an assumption, probably the correct assumption. We will see. If the match stops, we will see who has a better endurance, Gennady or Morozov. Morozov feels super comfortable in that hook. I'm not sure if Gennady can tire him out if the match stops. Pradeep, I'm going to appear in a TV because of arm wrestling. Where? So Thomas, you sent me that message, but it was kind of late, and I gave two pay-per-views. So Mark gave me about $30 super chat. So from the $20 that I received out of that 2021, whatever it was, I bought a pay-per-view for WinBet Arm Wrestling Show, because that's what Mark donated the money for, and I bought one pay-per-view myself for another. So I overall I bought two pay-per-views. It was kind of random, whoever. And that's an interesting thing. I created a community post that whoever messages me first, the three guys that message me first on Instagram gets the pay-per-view, a free pay-per-view for this card. And immediately within like 5 minutes I got 5 messages. Within 10 minutes got almost 10 messages. But as soon as you tell people to do something, okay, now that's what you're going to have to do. Either give me your PayPal, I can send you the money and you buy the pay-per-view, or you create an ID on that website, give me the login details and I'll purchase the pay-per-view on that ID. And people disappear. People disappear. They don't want to do any work. That's why I gave only two memberships, pay-per-view memberships. But none of his opponents were endurance pullers. I would say it's reverse. Reverse what? None of them were endurance pullers. Dadikyan, yeah, maybe not that much endurance. And Hermes Gasparini, yeah, possible. I don't have anything to dispute your point here, but I don't understand the part. I would say it's reverse. How much time would you need to beat Jody Williams? I'm not sure I can do that. He's like much bigger. Isn't he like 240 pounds? And if I compete, when I compete, I'll be like 180 pounds maybe. Arm wrestler. Alex beat Morozov and Vitaly Sporong. Official win versus Revaz. Alex beat Morozov. When did he beat him? And Vitaly Sporong. Vitaly beat Sporong. Official. I don't know what you're saying, brother. You also want to pull arm wrestlers. That's a topic that I think about almost daily, and it's kind of a difficult decision for me. The ideal thing is that I should be focusing more on YouTube and not on arm wrestling myself. Pradeep, in your opinion, what weight class should Monster Michael Todd compete on? I would say 100. He should switch between 105 and 115 kilos. That's where he will be the best. With the reverse, I meant their opposite of endurance arm wrestler. Okay, they are opposite. I thought you were saying that Morozov is kind of opposite of that. Why is present tennis very underrated for you? Because he has not competed. He beat only John Brezink. He beat only John Brezink and no one else. That's the only match he has had. So we need to see more. What's up, Pradeep? And when John went outside, Dennis had to like almost kind of tire him out for 15 seconds and then pin him. So it wasn't that easy for him either. MMT should just give up at this point. I don't think he should give up. I'm trying to get more plates, more dates to do a breakdown of Levance Arms video. So USS Liberty, you're the one who posted that in the Reddit group. Please let me know if you did that. Why it looks Morozov don't use technique and plan? Maybe because he's strong. What about your posture on that Tom guy who wants people to put 1500 bucks for match? Nobody cares, okay? And the way he treats people who offers him money for his match. Yeah, that was kind of bad. And I called him out as well on that same podcast. I was also on that podcast. I had to leave for my work, but I was in the chat. So you must have seen that I also called him out. I didn't say that you don't deserve 1500. All I said that you should be able to justify it. How? The way he was saying that that's his price and he don't give a shit what any person thinks, any promoter thinks, that was kind of bad. That wasn't good. Not saying don't demand. You can demand any amount of money that you want, and you should be able to justify it when the promoters ask you, like, why do you think you are worth that much? That's what I would ask. There are many arm wrestlers, like Jody Williams said that he competed at Arm Wars with his own expense. He booked the flights and everything. So he got nothing. On top of that, he paid for his own flights as well. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Even though I've never arm wrestled, if anyone invites me to compete, there is no way. There is no way internationally that I'm going to spend that much money. You will have to cover my expenses. Even I will ask without without any arm wrestling experience. Even I would ask my expenses to get covered, but I will be able to justify that. I can easily justify that expense. So that's the only part that I didn't like about Tom, that he didn't explain or describe to people or and the promoters why he deserves that. Pradeep, can you beat Aussie arm wrestler in bottom eight? Yes, I do think I can. Little bit of training, which I'm already doing, but I'm only doing like a couple of days in a week, or maybe I would say 3 times in 10 days. That's what I'm doing right now, 3 4 times in 10 days. Dennis say Alex is number two on left, like Levan and John, even Devon. Robert Gould, I can't believe I've seen some guys have Dennis top seven in the world. Makes no sense. If he was that high, he would have flashed John easily. That comment makes sense, but Dennis is mostly, I've seen mostly kind of a defensive puller if he meets someone. Even guys like he always used to beat comfortably, he needed some time to beat them. Like Andre Pushkar, he always won against him, but none of them were quick flash pins. He always needed some time to tire him out and then beat him. So not me in Reddit. Okay, yeah, it's kind of disappointing, man. At first it was kind of okay when Larry came out publicly about his PED usage. He tried to educate people. But when you're telling, I didn't really like that video from Levan. When you're telling people that this is the guy, this is the expert, contact him if you're using PEDs, this is how you can safely do them. So at that point, you are almost like there is a safer way of doing that. So more and more people will think about doing PEDs. Okay, they'll think like, let's say I'm thinking about using steroids, and then I'll watch videos like that, I'll watch experts like that, and I'll start thinking that maybe yes, it is a possibility to do steroids without having any health health risk, because such guys exist who can help me out of that situation. So I think it's almost kind of promoting, and yeah, it is promoting. If you are labeling that person's contact information, Instagram and everything, and telling people to contact him for what, PDs, and he's going to charge them, that's like literally promoting steroid usage. I don't like that at all. I should have said the same thing about Larry when he did some interviews with doctors about safe PED usage, but I didn't. And now I'm thinking more about it. I think it's not a good thing to do. Not a good thing to do. And talking about steroids, I watched Grand Diets video, whatever his name is, however you pronounce it. I watched his video that he made about Australian arm wrestling drug testing. They said that there may be testing in the nationals last year, and they did some testing, and two arm wrestlers were caught in steroid usage. Lachlan Carpenter, and I think the other one was George. I don't want to mess up the name. I don't remember who he was. But the problem is that now these guys will be kind of ashamed for that, because they got caught. And there are people who are openly kind of promoting PEDs, and people are like clapping, wow, how strong this guy has become. That's not good either. I think it should be equal both ways. Those guys will get more heat even though they are not promoting PEDs. Lachlan had a "you need to pay your dues" attitude towards him. Tim, I have never seen him that furious before. Yes, yes, in that live stream it was. But I don't agree with Jody as well. Jody Williams on that part. He was like, we had to grind, we had to arm wrestle for tens of years, and still we compete with our own money. I traveled to Armors. That was you. If you had the ability to ask or demand some money from the promoters, trust me, you would have done that. You know you cannot do that. That's why you're saying, that's why you're kind of almost expecting, even though he continuously said multiple times that that's good on you, that's good on you, if you can, if some promoters pay you that much money, that's good on you. I like that. But still he was kind of implying that just because I had to go that route, you should also do that. It's like a person who has always had a physical blue collar kind of job his entire life, making $30,000 a year, and then he sees a young guy who's just sitting on his home working on his computer 5 hours a day, making $100,000 a year. And now that guy is kind of jealous. He's like, I had to pay my dues. You know how hard I worked in the field for last 20 years, and I still do that, so you should also do that. No, why? If an arm wrestler who's just born into the arm wrestling world today, if he believes and he can somehow draw more money than you, then he deserves that. He deserves more than you. You shouldn't expect everyone to follow the same path that you have followed. So that was kind of weird to see from, even though I'll mention again, he kept on saying every single time that if he's able to do that, if he's doing that, then that's good on him. But still, we kind of saw both sides of the story there. I hate autocorrect. Pradeep knows all techniques but no strength. Yeah, that's kind of true. I don't know much inside the straps, how to arm wrestle inside the straps. But outside of straps, I can arm wrestle good against someone who is almost at my level. I feel good. I feel comfortable. How is Zaur now? He feels good. He's already benching like 150 plus kilos for tens of reps, 15 reps. So he's strong. He'll be competing on June 2nd. We'll see how good he is. June or is it July? How can I forget? But Dennis, I think it's July. Yeah. Dennis needed many surges in round one to beat John. I agree with that. I think I've mentioned that multiple times. Multiple times he was losing his hand. And if you lose your hand while going sideways against someone like Devon and you don't have the ability to stand up and press, you're in for a big trouble. That's why I keep on saying that for me, Devon is kind of a favorite in that match. As of now. Saying this version of Dennis, I would say Devon is my favorite in that match. Larry said it's the craziest cycle he has ever seen. Yeah, I saw that interview. Dennis needed. Yeah, okay. Pradeep, what are your feelings on Aussie letting Neil dog on Bowen? I have been in several call in shows and trashing Bowen, and Aussie always defended him. Yeah, Aussie always defended him. Maiden grilled Aussie over not sticking up. I think that's maybe he's expecting some work from Neil, some commentating, but he doesn't know that Neil is not going to invite him. At least not for a paid job, or maybe he will. Just kidding, just having some fun. But yeah, that was bad. That was bad. I've When I listen to that guy, I kind of get those vibes that he's someone who like wants or needs to be in the good books of as many people as possible. Like the dude starts with saying about east versus west. Like, I don't know what he was saying about. There were some like contradictions. Yeah. Once, East or Engin Terzi announces the matches before King of the Table. Engin has always said that I'll announce the matches after King of the Table is over. I'll promote the matches after King of the Table is over. For once, Engin announces the matches before King of the Table or promotes the matches before the King of the Table, and he says that I I would have waited at least King of the Table is over. Dude, King of the Table has been doing that since forever. They don't care about Engin's event. They start promoting it before Engin's event, and once Engin does that, he's like, well, I would have waited if I was in his place. Why? And people are saying mismatches. Why don't you complain about mismatches on Neil on Engin's event? 9 out of 12 matches. So the man literally counted how many of these versus West matches were mismatches. He counted like out of 12 were mismatches. So why are you competing? So it's always like he believes like he has a kind of a stake in King of the Table, and he needs to defend it and kind of put other events down. Like he keeps on saying literally, if King of the Table invites me for a job and the owner in front of thousands of people ask me, which promotion do you think is the best? Who is doing it better, Pradeep? I'm paying you. You tell me who is doing it better, East versus West or King of the Table. I'll take probably half a second to say East versus West. But the man is like he needs to keep on saying that King of the Table is the best. King of the Table is the best. Why? Because they're paying you. That's why they're the best. Ask anyone which they feel is the better event. I'm sure 70%, at least 75% people will say that East versus West is better than King of the Table. Josh Barker, yeah. Is there any women here? I don't think so. You should follow Mike O'Hearn. He's bigger than most steroid users, and he's absolutely natural at almost 50. When I watched Levan's last video was of course with good intentions. That guy was talking about steroids like it's lollipop. He said it's safe and healthy. I don't think he said it's safe and healthy, but yeah, if you need to do them safely, then that's the guy that you need to talk to. There is a way of doing them without much harm. And then in like fraction of a video, half a minute, they'll warn about the harms of steroid usage. I'm like, that's what steroid users always do when they kind of make an educational video about steroid usage. For about 80% of the video, they'll talk about the positives. Yeah, it feels great, I did it, it makes you feel strong, invincible, inhuman, and you should be careful, but steroids are harmful, so don't do them. I'm like, you just showed me 10 benefits of doing steroids, and the 11th sentence was steroids are harmful, don't do them. Like, how does this work out? I don't understand. You can watch any educational video on steroids from a person who is doing steroids, and he'll give you 10 benefits, and then towards the end, he'll say that I don't recommend anyone to do steroids because those are harmful. So yeah, J.R. Williams, that's why he didn't defend him. Only one reason: wants to be in the good books with everyone. He's over 59, and I believe not natural. Assume you were kidding. Okay, Mike O'Hearn. I think it sets a bad precedent to promote PEDs and stem cells for recreational use just to get an edge. Yeah, I think uh, it's not my place to comment on that, but I think this stem cell thing is also probably a big scam. Big scam. Everyone is like, it works like magic. There's nothing like that. Get your stem cells, and then all of these guys are all of these guys are promoted by sponsored by stem cells. I promoted a supplement company, old school labs, and some of the supplements, people are like, what, you don't know, these these supplements are not good, how can you promote like that? So why don't you go to Devon and tell him that why are you promoting stem cells? It's still kind of okay, it's really good in the countries where my audience is from, but in India it used to be even worse. Whenever you do any sponsorship, people will be like, man, you sold out. Everyone else in this world works for money, but if a YouTuber tries to make money, then he's like the worst enemy possible of humanity. Jody at least exposed his point respectfully. The other mate was kind of aggressive. Yeah. Hello, Pradeep. Just popping in to say hello. Show you my support. Keith Thomas. Thanks, brother. That said, I enjoy his show, but I doubt I will be following him and renewing my subscription. Whose subscription? J.R. Williams. What were you talking about? I'm kind of lagging behind in the chat. So I apologize. I won't be able to read your names now. Do you think Sonev even has a chance against Sandris? Slight chance, but looks difficult. On the left, I think he would have been the favorite to win. I enjoy his show, but okay. Aussie, Amnesler, I believe, Lagia. Pradeep kind of dyslexic sometimes. Okay. If you could spend a whole day with arm wrestler, who would it be? Whole day with arm wrestler. That's a good question. Probably Devon. Probably Devon. Yeah. Or second, maybe Irina or someone. Just saying. Todd Hutchings. All right. That's what I was suspecting. The wordsman. What were you suspecting, Lagia? I need to skip some comments because it becomes really difficult to understand otherwise. There is a ad that this stream will be showing in 40 seconds. Should I skip it or should I let it run? Stem cells isn't magic, it's science. Bowen has shifted slightly after his humble apology in the previous live streams. I criticized him and Ozzy tried to defend him every time, calling him best mate. Yeah, but when Neil did, he was silent. because you Neil can offer him job and you cannot. J.R. Williams. That's a simple thing. Run it, brother. Okay, 5 seconds. Let that run, Pradeep. Would love to support you. Thanks. Pradeep, I am not renewing my subscription with Aussie Ambassador. Okay, got it. Got it. What's the hot topic today? Whatever you guys want to discuss. Not many hot topics that I can find of. And the 3 years suspension is good. Is good. I was kind of saying that some other guys, big arm wrestlers, kind of almost promoting steroid usage is not is more bad than what those Australian guys did who got caught in the drug testing. 3 year ban is good. I really respect that. Really appreciate that because they were competing in a league that was supposed to be drug tested. They announced it before as well that there will possibly be drug testing. So if you're competing in a league that is supposed to be a natty league and you're juiced, then I think you deserve that suspension. Consistent YouTubers are honestly blessing this world. It takes a while to actually start making money on YouTube. Yes, it does. It took me like 7 months, 6 months, something like that. I was lucky. I kind of basically I would say I stole some footage from WL and I really made a really good compilation of Michael Todd versus Devon led rivalry, and that video almost went viral. I think it's the second most viewed video even today on my channel. So that completed my watch hours and 1,000 subscribers on the channel. He's an introvert. Okay. Faucian is an defender. Dr. Fauci calling stem cell science. Lol. In the US, they get stem cells from donated umbilical cords. Umbilical or umbilical. I don't know how to pronounce that word. What are the rules on oxygen between rounds? There are no rules. There are no rules. And when I point these things, these obvious things out, the promoters and surprisingly, some of the fans hate me. When I say that since we are considering arm wrestling is a combat sport, everyone keeps on saying that arm wrestling is a combat sport. Okay, if it is a combat sport, then follow the rules that every other combat sport is following. Then arm wrestlers are like, no, arm wrestling is unique. It's a one of a kind sport. We should have every rule different. Whatever rules we want, kind of differentiated from other sports, we should be able to allow to do that. Why? No other combat sports lets athlete athletes to use oxygen in between the match. Nobody does that. So why in arm wrestling? Why aren't there any rules about that? East versus West, king of the table, biggest arm wrestling promotions in the world. You search for rules for East versus West, rules for king of the table, or prohibited substances at king of the table, East versus West. There aren't any. Are you surprised? People make fun of WWE. Wow, people want they want to turn it into WWE. WWE is fake. Yeah, which it is. It is scripted. But even they have a list of prohibited steroids. But arm wrestling don't. That these are the basic things like no serious promoter or TV channel or anything like that is going to take arm wrestling seriously until we figure these things out. Like, how is it possible? Can you guys tell me? You cannot search for East versus West or king of the table rules. How does it make sense? If we approach a TV for a deal, okay, this is arm wrestling, we're doing great work, we're the biggest promotion in the world, and those guys say, okay, can you show us the rules, like what are the rules you follow? Well, we don't have any rules. We make rules before every single event in a rules meeting. I was like, what's that, man? What is that? In combat, if you can't continue, guess what? Yes. How can you use oxygen within rounds? And people are saying he quit, the match was over. No. When he announced that he quits, the oxygen guy was almost there. He was like 5 meters besides him. He had his oxygen ready. So he was coming towards Levan for oxygen anyways. Levan was going to use anyways. So you're saying, many people are saying, why are you saying that it was after the match was over? Levan didn't compete after that. So if Levan used oxygen and then he stood up and then went back to the table, what would you say then? Would you still have been okay, or would you project some kind of problem with that? All I'm saying is have rules for that. Have rules for that. These are the situations. that demands some rule changes. We will learn as we grow. But if we pretend or ignore these things, and if we pretend that we don't want to change anything, then there's a big problem. Tell me, why hasn't Engin or King of the Table or Core Sports made it public or announced it? What are their rules and regulations from the future as per oxygen usage? And you'll see when these topics that needs to be brought out, when they are brought out, when they're talked about, the owners and the promoters, I will not take the name of that person, but they kind of like to take the emotional side. Well, what would you want? You would want that athlete to die on the table? You want to him to risk his life? Why wouldn't he give him we give him oxygen if his health was at risk? Well, guess what? Nobody has ever died on the arm wrestling table. Nobody. So how about that? People have been arm wrestling for thousands of years, and we have data of at least almost 100 year, and nobody has died on the arm wrestling table. So why don't you take that into consideration? And everyone was saying, well, Levan was going to die. They were like, Pradeep wanted Levan to die. He said oxygen shouldn't be allowed. Levan would have died if 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 there was no oxygen. Nobody has died on the arm wrestling table. Nobody. The person who is about to die from the shortage of oxygen, he's passed out. He's passed out and he's lying on the floor. He's not casually sitting on a chair and talking with people and then say that he would have died if he didn't get oxygen. Yeah, Super Mario. That's what people were saying, man. That's what people were saying. And even the promoter saying that, well, there was a major health risk issue that we needed to address. That's what health is our priority. That's what that promoter said. Rules are not your priority. Okay, at that time you can clearly say we did not have the rules figured out, so health was our priority. That's why that was allowed. But from now on, we will have the rule which says that oxygen is allowed within the rounds or oxygen isn't allowed within the rounds. I'm okay with both of them, but have it written, have it mentioned. Yes, 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 thank you, Pradeep. There's no official and organized rules in East versus West and King of the Table. I hate it. Nobody. I challenge you to find one person who has demanded or who has complained that there should be written rules from East versus West or King of the Table. I challenge you to find one YouTuber who did that. Nobody's interested in that, because in today's world, that's enough. That's enough. You saying that a serious promotion should have rules written down where people can read them, and a list of prohibited banned drugs which cannot be used. Whether you test them or not, that's a separate topic. At least have a list, man. At least have a list of prohibited substances. Then we'll see what we can do afterwards. All you need to do is say that, and you'll piss off the promoters. That's all you need to do in today's world. And then they'll take some emotional side that health is our priority. NFL allows oxygen during football games. And guess what? NFL isn't a combat game. That's what I'm saying. And it isn't an individual sport as well. It's a team game. Pradeep, what's your favorite Indian snack? Man, I would love to see you and Devon trying Indian street food. Favorite foods? These are like always really difficult questions for me. I just eat whatever is in front of me, whatever my wife cooks for me or makes for me. I don't have any favorite food. Kind of a boring answer, but that's what the truth is. I don't really have any favorite food or drink or snack. An athlete can practically sue the promotion if they disallow health rights, not if they have written it in the rules, not if they have written that part in the rules, then they cannot. I mean, when you are 190 kg and can't breathe, it takes not that much time to get heart attack. But if someone uses, so guess what? Once again, Knox, Levan isn't the first 190 kg guy to compete on the arm wrestling table. Cleve Dean was well over 200 kilos, and as far as I know, he never had a heart attack on the arm wrestling table, and he had some long matches. But if someone uses oxygen tank, he should be disqualified if he have not won the match already. And these are legit questions, Luchana. Legit questions like, what if Levan used that oxygen and returned back to the table? Then what does the rules say about that, or what would you say about that? Cleve versus Jerry was a war. Yes, I saw that match. It was amazing. NFL has combat levels of damage. Yeah, probably more than arm wrestling. I don't really agree with arm wrestling being a combat sport as well. But I saw World Combat Games on WAF, World Arm Wrestling Federation website, and I think they are also considering arm wrestling as a combat game. NFL is a contact sport. You are correct. If you could have a do over that, would what would you call Levan giving up? Oxygen starved. What were they at 10K feet elevation? If that No, they clearly Dubai isn't at that much elevation, and there were some different opinions. Some people are saying there wasn't enough oxygen, it was too hot. Levan was saying it was too hot. Levan's Georgian team was saying no oxygen. And when I interviewed Hermes Gasperini, he was saying there was sufficient oxygen, and it was probably too cold for me. That's what Hermes said. What does she think about arm wrestling? I don't really know. She doesn't watch it enough, or at all, I would say. I would say if you win in a match, it should be over. It's like yeah, best of seven. I really preferred that type of format. Best of seven would be good. Hermes destroy Cagoret. Matt Rhodes said the air was totally fine. Hermes also said the same thing. I don't care what athletes do between the rounds or what drugs they take. And Engin used three. I really appreciate that. Engin said that it should be 3 minutes rest between the rounds. And Devon was complaining about it. Guess what? Who was complaining? Devon. There is always 3 minutes rest between every single round in every single match, at least most of them. Now, finally, when Engin made that change, I don't understand why Devon had to complain about that. Devon never complained about it when it was written that there should be a 90-second rest. And in fact, the rest that was being allowed was more than 3 minutes sometimes. Devon never complained about it. But when Engin said the rest will now be 180 seconds, 9 minutes, 3 minutes, then Devon complained about it. How did he measure that? Who measured what? Mark, you have been in that arena, I guess. Or was it the other arena where when you visited King of the Table? Tell us how good is the oxygen situation over there. So I'm wrestling news. I'm just sad. So please motivate me. I'm using Instagram for 1 year now. Last week deactivate कर दिया but बहुत खराब हो रही है लाइफ में कोई मजा नहीं बचा. If you need me to motivate you, then you have gone beyond that motivational thing, brother. There is no such thing as motivation. Motivation is just temporary excitement. You think I enjoy? I'm motivated to record, to write script, to do some research and edit videos and upload every single day? No, hell no. There is not a single YouTuber who is really motivated to upload. If they were, they will be uploading every single day, multiple times a day. So no, you're supposed to do things that you're not motivated about. This is Arm Wrestling ESPN. Do you have a Facebook page, Pradeep? I do have, yeah, my personal and also Arm Wrestling News. I've not uploaded anything for almost like a couple of years. Gennady was back at the table first every single time, and he was calling Devon to arm wrestle, mixing Georgian, yeah, Russian, and English, and that was funny. And Devon needed more rest. Guess what? Devon needed more rest in that match. Super Mario. Pradeep, may I ask what keeps you going on with your YouTube career? Career? You already used that word. That's what keeps going on. And the other thing is that that's easy for me, and in no particular order. These things that's easy for me because I liked arm wrestling. I liked arm wrestling, and I was already kind of watching everything before I created. At that point of time, there weren't enough videos, enough YouTube channels, so it was easy to watch everything. In 2020, 2019, 18, everyone was watching every single arm wrestling video that was being uploaded. So I was also doing that, and I was like, why not make a YouTube channel out of it? So I made that. So that's one thing that I was doing anyway, so that's what keeps me going, because that's something that I would have done without this YouTube thing as well. A career, I would say, money, that's a huge part, that's a big part. And recognition, that's also good. You gain knowledge about arm wrestling as well, you stay updated, and it's good, man, it's good. Now some people have started saying that you're not supposed to really follow your passion, you're supposed to do things otherwise as well. But if you get to follow your passion, if you get to make money from it, then you're really, really going to be in a good spot. Pradeep, who wins Gennady versus Dennis? I already discussed that in yesterday's Q&A video, brother. I think you're not following the channel. You have not pressed the bell icon. ESPN is owned by Disney. I don't see them agreeing to give a masculine show a programming slot these days. Yeah. They need to introduce two new refs to hold down people's forearm while forearms before the go. That's probably correct. Silky Wilky spam. Yes, it was. Yeah, Sanka mentioned the irony is that Devon is the one who gassed out. Now Devon will ask for 5 minute rest. Now let's suppose if Engen changes it back to 2 minutes. Now seeing or knowing that get Devon gets gassed out. My prediction, guys. My prediction for 2024, and it is going to happen. You can write it down and remind me a year later if some of you remember. Arm wrestlers will start running in 2024, like literally running, jogging. They will start doing that. That's the best way to develop stamina. I think most of the people keep on talking about endurance, 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 but most of it is stamina as well. Stamina, I'm not sure what the science says about this topic, but I would say stamina and endurance are kind of two different things from my limited knowledge, and I haven't done any research on that. Stamina is like mostly your cardiovascular thing, and endurance is like your muscles getting pumped up. They can be related to each other, but there can be some parts of that that are independent as well. And I would say most of the times when these arm wrestlers are saying I got my arm got pumped, my arm got pumped, I think most of that has to do with their cardiovascular system as well. They cannot really breathe. And stamina, your cardiovascular system is the easiest thing to build. Easiest thing to build. All you need to do is run a couple of miles once every week. That's it. And that's easy stuff. That's literally easy stuff. Just run 3 kilometers every week, and your stamina is good to go. You have enough stamina now to arm wrestle. If you're really heavy like Levan or someone else, you cannot really jog, it's not a possibility for you, then maybe go for swimming or something else, I don't know. But you have to develop that stamina. People kind of overrate endurance and underrate stamina. Nobody talks about it. Crazy George is the one person, when he was interviewed by Armbet, Igor Mazurenko. In that interview, he talked a lot about stamina, run, go up hills, climb stairs. He used to talk about stuff like that. That's the key to his success, is stamina. And nobody talks about stamina. Everybody is so much focused on endurance. And that's some basic stuff. I don't know how you guys are not you guys, but how arm wrestlers are not focusing on that basic stuff. May I ask? Okay, I already answered that. By the time I type out a comment, the topic has moved on. Pradeep, running cardio doesn't necessarily translate to stamina on the table. If you cannot breathe during a match, if you're literally sitting on the table and you need to come back to the table, so I would totally disagree with you. I would say that completely translates to the stamina on the table. It does. It does. You saw how Wagner was literally gasping out for air sitting on that sofa. That wasn't endurance. That was stamina. and that can easily be built by running. Easily. I was watching the NASA live meeting about UFOs, is why I was late getting an air teleport. Okay. I think if you want arm wrestling stamina, you need to have practices where you arm wrestle a ton. Our practices are 4 hours or more every week. That's once again, Robert, that's endurance. That's not stamina. That's not what we are talking about here. Stamina equals to lungs endurance, muscle strength in match, how much time the player can, and Devon is good at this. I think it does. I think it does. You, I think I'm not able to make it clear. There are two things that we are talking about here. Once your arm is pumped, you cannot, like, literally cannot close your hand and stuff. And the other thing is you cannot breathe. And the situation where you cannot breathe, that's what I'm talking about here. That's the exact thing that Wagner suffered, that Levan suffered. That wasn't about, that thing cannot be solved with you arm wrestling even for 5 hours every single day on the table. That problem will still be there. Let you, Robert, and one other person who disagreed. You guys tell me, if Levan and Wagner started arm wrestling 2 hours every single day like Devon Lett on the table, will they not be cast out on the table once the match stops? I think they will be, because it wasn't about endurance. They literally cannot breathe. Rip Bangladesh. What happened, Mark? India versus Bangladesh arm wrestling will be held in Dhaka on 15th and 16th of July. Bangladesh arm wrestling king. Okay, interesting, brother. Interesting. So, who are attending from India? Pro Panja League starts on 28th of July. I'm not sure if big players are attending there. There is no way Levan can run. He's way too heavy. That's what I said. That's what I said. Swimming is the other option. Old Levan wins, I think. Mazahir will kill them all. Pradeep, I bet if you take a marathon runner and put him on the table for the first time, he will gas out on the table because he hasn't. But now, why are we talking about the first time? Why are we talking about the first time? Why don't we talk about two equal level athletes who are kind of back and forth on the table, and have them compete in a 6 round super match, and one has more stamina? Then maybe we can see. His arm can get pumped. That's exactly what I talked about. His arm can get pumped, but I think I doubt that he will be the one who will be breathing heavy, or he will be the one who will be needing more time to return to the table if the match is close. If the match isn't close, then stamina, endurance, they won't really matter. Let's break down stamina versus endurance. Stamina is defined as the amount of time a muscle or muscle group can perform at or near maximum capacity, when endurance is defined as the amount of time a muscle group can perform a certain action. Okay. My point is trying to make I'm trying to make is that different types of cardio. Marathon runner will gas quick in a jiu-jitsu match. But why are you again talking about something that that person is doing for the first time? Of course it is going to be awkward when he does that for the first time. It's just unbelievable to me, like, how can people say that if you, right now you're in a shape where you'll gassed out if you run probably 800 meters, and if you run a couple of miles every week, now you've developed that stamina that you can literally from 500 meters, now you can run to up to 5 kilometers without being gassed out, and that is not going to help you on the arm wrestling table in a close match. But Robert, you're selectively picking my words. I also said I haven't done any research on the exact definition of these two things, and I also said they can be slightly related as well in some aspects, and they can be different as well. I think you need to rewind the footage what I said. What did you think about Levan versus Morozov? I think Levan was the heavy favorite in that match. Morozov's left is at least as good as his right, maybe even better, and he was getting all kinds of challenges even on the left arm as well. So on the right, I think he has a few years to reach that top spot. I was referring to Stizzy, not you, Pradeep. Okay, got it, got it. I smoke, so I can't run very long, but I can work hard for hours. That's the difference between endurance and stamina. You can work hard for hours, but that's not like 100% effort. Confidence, yeah. Jerry talking about if. Jerry always says that. Whenever you say if, he'll always correct you. It's not if, that's when. So to me, it's like something that I've already seen or heard 5 6 times before as well. Devon will increase pancakes after Gennady loss. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there is room left to increase pancake usage. Let's make the sport more interesting. I vote for unidirectional treadmill under the table for foot movement. That's a good idea. Thoughts about Devon versus Dave. Devon is the favorite, slight favorite in my opinion, not a huge favorite unless Dave has significantly dropped in strength. But the rumors about Dave not being healthy, not being in top shape are true. I think. Have you seen toe wrestling? No, I have not. In that case, the match should be close. Well, I do a lot of concrete work, takes quite a bit effort, lol. But yeah, it's not redlining by no means. Yeah, Devon's already on all of the pancakes he can handle. Trust me. So we only have 3 minutes left for this live stream, and we'll be ending it soon. It was amazing chatting with you guys. It will be a new era evolving the legs. Dan versus Dave does not make sense. Crossover arm wrestling. You're doing a members live today. Should I? Should I? I really enjoyed playing PlayStation last few days. Like I played for a few days and I finished one game in like two years, and that was the first Last of Us that was released for PlayStation 3 2013, I think it was. Devon should not test his body. Not saying that I'm going to play it today, but I'm just letting you guys know. Ended the main story, the side story is still left. I think the name is Left Behind. King of the Table has to step it up. Only 3 super matches. And where is Svetan's match he earned? Yeah, he should have got it by now. Do you remember Game Boy? Do you remember Game Boy? That console? I remember those consoles, but I don't know which one was named what. I love PS4 play FS 20 Farming Simulator. Yeah, man. I used to absolutely love Farming Simulator when I was like 18 years old, 19 years old on my computer, or maybe 16, 17. I don't remember exactly. I really Euro Truck Simulator and Farming Simulator. These two games I really enjoyed playing. Nintendo DS. I downloaded Farming Simulator on my mobile phone as well. Flight Simulator, I think I downloaded it once, but I don't remember if I played it enough or not. There is a flight simulator game on PlayStation or a computer as well. I think it's like massive, almost 100 GB. I may be wrong. I may be totally wrong, though. It may be 10 GB, but I don't remember. I don't remember the exact game. So if we can talk about games if you want, we can do that. Windows, you are right about flight simulator game. If Engin beats Ray, then they must pull the best possible match for both. After Engin beats Ray, who? Andreas saying, let's read Andreas' previous comment. Can you mention again who? I cannot find that chat. Svetan versus Engin. No, 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 no. I think that's going to be a bad match. At this point, although Svetan is older than Engin, I don't think At this point of time, Egin can deal with that king's move. I don't think he can. I would favor Svetan heavily in that match. Heavily. Pradeep has RTX 4090. I don't, but it looks like a name of a expensive graphics card. I still got my Atari and a ton of games. What was the name of that console where you had like where you inserted cassettes by literally pressing them with a good amount of force, and two buttons, one left one was power on, the right one was like to eject the cassette, and used to plug it in the TV. I don't know what was the name of that console, but I used to play a lot on it. Adventure Island, Mario, Contra, these kind of games. Game Boy, Pradeep. Okay, that was Game Boy. Nintendo, NES. Some people Super Nintendo. See, we got three names here. I don't even know which one it is. Devon 150 kg. No, Devon cannot be 150 kg. Actually, I'm not going to read that comment, and I need to hide you from the channel since you have already been banned a couple of times, put on timeout, and you still keep on repeating stuff every single. That's why I was not reading your comments. Some people get away with it, and that's where YouTubers needs to be careful. So, some people keep on typing stuff every single time repeatedly, and people read it. I would like to ignore these type of comments where you have to post same thing hundreds of times to get your question read or answered. Devon really got banned from Arm Gods. No, I don't think so. I don't know about that. I know what you're talking about, yeah. But I don't know what the exact name of that game was. Aladdin. Aladdin was also a game that I really used to enjoy on that console. When I was like really young, I was like probably 10 years old. And the happiest day, man, when we used to go to our school, it's like 7 a.m, 7:30 a.m, and somehow people are returning on their bicycles from school, and it's like you go to the gate and you know that school is closed today, and man, when you sprint that bicycle to your home and you immediately plug in your game and start playing Aladdin when you're 10 years old, that shit was awesome, man. That was awesome. Pradeep Gaming new channel coming. Pradeep, will you be seeing Vogue, Little Mermaid? No. What's that story about? What's is Little Mermaid being played by a black biological male? Is that what's happening? So that they can add both things to that race plus gender. Pradeep, how much the promoter should pay you to box with Engin? To box with Engin. Hmm. I don't know, man. I thought about learning to fight. I don't know how to fight. I thought about learning to fight. So probably I can take a match against anybody in boxing who like is not going to kill me, who is not experienced at that stuff. So yeah, maybe just hire me a cheap coach for training, and that's all we need. That's all we need. Yes, race swapped mermaid and anti ginger. Little Mermaid is the title. Is a little black girl. You can check it out, Pradeep. I think it's been made free. What? There is a free competitive game I have been playing since 2015. It's called Rocket League. Yeah, I have that Rocket League on my PlayStation. I played it with my brother a few times. So maybe Lagia, I crack you in Rocket League tonight. Levan uploaded video about his injury several minutes ago. Okay, we will check that out soon. I hung out in bikers bars most my adult life. So now we are kind of moving towards the members only territory discussion. I would like to stop it here. Let's keep it professional, guys. Let's keep it professional. This type of stuff is for members only live stream. Gaming and movies and Little Mermaids. Let's keep it for members only live stream. Thanks for joining, and I'm ending this live stream, guys. I really appreciate your support. 49 likes. Hit the thumbs up before you leave, please. Watch it with us. Watch it now. Little Mermaids.